Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome to another gambling video. And this time around I'm going to be identifying 200 water eyes. And in case you don't know, water eyes are jewels that drop from Elder, and there are two versions of them. So there is item level 85 version, which drops from Elder, and item level 86 version, which drops from Uber Elder. And difference between them is that the item level 85 can have only 2 aura modifiers, and item level 86 always has 3 aura modifiers. And currently, if you want to sell them, there isn't really many single aura modifiers that are worth that much. Usually you will need at least combination of 2 good aura modifiers. So it's really hard to get the 2 aura water eyes to be good. Most of the time you will see the ones with 3, because there is just higher chance that 2 of them will be actually good and synergize with each other. So just to show you, currently if you would search for double damage while using Pride, these go for 100 chaos, so not that expensive. The one with Impale, so additional hits while using Pride, goes for around 2 exalts, but if you combine both of them, currently they go for 160. So you need to have at least 2 good modifiers. And there are some exceptions, for example damage over time multiplier while affected by malevolence. It is worth a decent amount of money, so like 7-8 exalts, but you will never see anything crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna identify 100 item level 85 jewels and 100 item level 86. So the ones that only have 2 modifiers, I was buying for 1.3 exalt each, so they did cost 130. And item level 86 I was buying for between 6 and 7 exalts, so around 650 exalts for all of them. So in total I did spend around 800 exalts to buy 200 jewels. So for item level 85 I'm gonna just quickly go through them. I'm only gonna search for at least 2 good auras, and then I'm gonna check them, and the 3 modifier ones I'm gonna look at them a bit longer just to be sure if they are worth something. So let's start. So again, I'm just gonna quickly go through them, and I'm gonna only stop if I see 2 good modifiers. For example, this one is actually nice. Consecrated Ground, while affected by Zealotry, you create while affected by Zealotry causes enemies to take 10% damage, and Life on Heat with Vitality is actually good. Both of these modifiers are nice. Nothing good here. Zealotry and Precision. This one is also pretty nice. I'm gonna price check them later. Recovery and flat damage, not too great. I'm gonna go through them again later just to be sure. Double damage, so this one would be worth 2 exalts. Unaffected by elemental weakness is actually pretty nice, but it would have to be combined with something else, I think. Cannot be blinded. Pen. That's only one good one on this one. Life on Heat. Chance to Impale. If this was Impale you inflict last additional hits, then it would be nice, but just Chance to Impale is not that great. Another Chance to Impale. Gain maximum mana as energy shield. So this one is a good one, and Anger is actually also decent, so I'm gonna keep this one. Another Chance to Impale. Nothing too great here. Double Determination, chance to block and reduce extra damage from crit. So both of them are Determination, but they are not that great. I am gonna check it again anyway, but I don't think it's worth anything. Purity of Ice and Wrath, not too great. This is probably not worth too much, but I'm still gonna check it, just to be sure. Pride and Wrath, both of these are okay, but they are not synergizing with each other. Nothing great here. Double damage while affected by while using Pride. This one is really nice mod, but you need also something else. And Zealotry is not synergizing very well with it. Nothing too great. This is actually decent. Pen and reduced mana cost. Reflect. So again, I am trying to go through these pretty fast, just to quickly go through them and start going through the item level 86 ones. This was actually a close one, but not good enough. Impale last additional hits, but second one is bad. Pen and reduce reflected damage taken. Another double damage, but Zealotry. Both of these are actually very nice, but they don't synergize with each other, unfortunately. Both of these are not too great, but if someone plays a build that converts physical damage to elemental damage, this is actually pretty nice, so I'm gonna double check it. Energy shield and recovery. Maybe, probably not. This is decent, but not too great. Reduce damage from crits. And as extra, this is also just decent. Crit multi. Unfortunately, it doesn't synergize with Malevolence. Both of these are nice. But unfortunately, it's Hatred and Wrath. If both of them were either Hatred or Wrath, it would be extremely nice. Double Wrath, conversion and critical strike chance. So these are not the best Wrath ones. Conversion is nice, but if it was the... where is it? If it was flat crit chance, just like there is one with Hatred here, so 1.7%. Here, unfortunately, it's increased critical strike chance, which is not crazy good, but it's still a decent one. Almost good one. Actually. Leech, actually no, it's not too great. Another pride, but with rough, which doesn't synergize too well. This one is actually almost good, because if you would have cooldown recovery, rate of movement speed while affected by haste, and the grace instead of chance to evade attack, if it had movement speed, it's actually extremely good jewel for speedrunner builds, like Ram Runner and stuff. Unfortunately, it's chance to evade, so it's actually a close one. And that's it. To be honest, I didn't expect this amount of good jewels from the 2 modifier ones, but I guess we will see how much they are actually worth a bit later. Now let's move on to the item level 86 ones. So nothing too great here. Chaos Res, Malevolence and Pride. Nothing too great. Reduce damage from crit. This one has a movement speed while affected by Grace, which is nice, but it doesn't synergize with anything else, unfortunately. Crit multi while affected by Anger, but everything else is kinda bad. The top one, which is recovery per second from Leech, maximum total energy shield recovery per second from Leech while affected by Zealotry, is okay, but I don't think it's good enough. Life recovery and Pen. Pen is nice, but everything else is whatever, so. Flat crit chance while affected by Hatred, and Leech while affected by Anger. Almost, but wrong auras. Attack speed while affected by Precision, and Leech while affected by Vitality. This is decent, but not good enough. Nothing too great here. Conversion and cooldown recovery. Ooh, this is actually a really nice one. For Toxic Rain, dot multi while affected by Malevolence and movement speed while affected by Grace are actually very nice ones. Cannot Blinded while affected by Precision is also a decent bonus, I guess, if someone really wants to be immune to blind, and Precision is one of those auras that only reserve flat amount of mana, so you can use a level 1 Precision. So it is also decent, but it's mostly for Malevolence and Grace. Nothing too great here. Also, all of them are pretty bad. Maximum mana as energy shield while affected by Clarity is nice, and yes per hit while affected by Discipline. Okay, both of these are nice. The third one is whatever, but there are two good defensive ones. This is a pretty bad one. Another bad one. Movement speed while affected by Grace and ES recovery rate. Not good enough in my opinion. Pen while affected by Hatred and increased damage taken while affected by Zealotry. This is actually decent. The third one is cannot be blinded again, but it's nothing too great. Hatred and Anger. Double damage while affected by Pride and chance to block while affected by Determination. It's probably not good enough of a combination to be worth something. Chance to get flash charges, conversions. Also not that great of a combination, I think. Pen, which is nice, but everything else is whatever. Nothing too great here. Also nothing too great here. Maybe the leech and gain a flash charge is okay, but still probably not good enough to be worth something. Double clarity. Reduced mana cost and chance to recover mana. Chance to recover mana is whatever mod. And increased recovery rate while affected by malevolence is also whatever. It's probably not good enough. Chance to impale. Everything else is bad. Double purity of elements. But both of them are not that great, I would say. And chance to block spells. Just decent, but not too crazy. Increase attack damage while affected by precision, life recovery rate while affected by vitality, and reduce mana cost while affected by clarity. The good thing about this one is that all of those three auras reserve a low amount of mana, so they can be used on a lot of builds. So these modifiers are not that great, but I'm still gonna double check it. Chance to block, crit multi. This one is okay one. I am gonna check it, but I don't expect it to be worth something. Nothing too great here. Unfortunately, anger and pride does not synergize too well. Wrath, haste, and purity of elements, not too great. Life on hit, but unfortunately the other two are not too great. Chance to evade, reduce damage from crits, and anger, fire damage, not too great. Nothing good here. And nothing good here. Increased cold damage while affected by hatred, and added cold damage while affected by hatred, and increased critical strike chance while affected by zealotry. All three of those are actually good, and they synergize with each other very well. But unfortunately, none of those three are actually like crazy good ones, because you can get better things on hatred, like penetrate, cold resistances, or on zealotry you can get monsters take increased damage, and this would be better, but here are three good modifiers, so it's still probably a decent one. Double grace, chance to blind and chance to evade. Both of these are grace, but they are not too great, so I don't think it's worth anything. Life on hit while affected by vitality, but the other two are not too great. Nothing here. If this one had life on hit while affected by vitality, that would be an okay one, but unfortunately not. Another bad combination. Impale, 2 additional hits while using pride, but the other two are not great. Why didn't this one had these two mods? So chance to deal double damage while using pride, and Impale's last 2 additional hits. If both of them were on the same jewels, that would be amazing, but close one. Next one. Pen, but nothing else. Again pen, but nothing else. Life on hit, and armor well affected by determination. Probably not too great, but I'm gonna check it again. Hatred and wrath, so not a good combination. All three of those are decent, but not good enough by themselves in my opinion. You will need some kind of damage or a modifier for any of those to be nice. Nothing too great here. Another impale us 2 additional hits, and it doesn't synergize well with the other 2. Maybe spell suppression while affected by grace? Probably not good enough. Damage multi while affected by malevolence. So this by itself is worth like 7 exalts, so I guess it is something, but everything else is kind of whatever. I guess I'm gonna keep it here. Double purity of elements. And wrath. Could be maybe something. Double wrath. Leech and pen. Decent one, I think. Life on hit while affected by vitality. But everything else is whatever. Nothing too great here. Another bad one. Nothing. Minus mana cost, but everything else is whatever. Wrath and anger, another not too great of a combination. Life on hit, but everything else is whatever. Nothing good here. Nothing. Double haste, but both of these are kind of whatever. Double damage while using pride. And block while using determination. I think I already have one of those, maybe. I think it's not good enough. Double conversion. Wrath and anger. I don't think any build wants that. So I don't think it's not too great of a combination. Nothing here. Nothing here. Another bad one. Pen, well affected by anger. But it doesn't synergize with other 2. Anger and wrath. Nothing here. Nothing. Life on heat and ES on heat. Okay. This is pretty nice for hybrid builds. Dot multi. And double purity of element. If there is any build that uses dot multi, and malevolence and purity of elements, could be worth something, but probably not. Double wrath, conversion, and as extra. And chance to deal double damage while using pride. This oh, it's wrath and anger. I thought it's the same aura. Okay. It is an interesting one, but unfortunately I don't think they synergize well. I'm still gonna double check it. Life on Heat and as extra. This is a decent one. Hatred and Anger. Unfortunately, not a good synergy. I guess if there is like an aura stacker build and it uses both of them, maybe it could be worth something, because both of these modifiers are modifiers to crit, not like a specific damage type. Maybe it could be worth something. Conversion and ES on hit. Okay, this is okay one. Nothing good here. Another bad one. I'm hoping I'm gonna get at least one, like a triple good mods, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna get it. Increase damage taken. Unfortunately, nothing else. Nothing good here. Double Wrath, crit chance and leech. Both of these are okay ones. Double Hatred, flat cold damage and pen. And I guess if someone uses Determination, it's a nice bonus of block, so that's actually a good one. Double Pride, but both of the Pride modifiers are the worst ones you can get, I think. Actually, there is one that is worse than the physical damage. It's the chance to intimidate. If this was double damage and additional hits, it would be an amazing one. But unfortunately, it's not. Regen as extra, chance to impale. Not a good synergy. Regen and crit multi. I think it's okay one, but not good enough. Double leech, but two different auras. Dot multi. I guess it's good by itself. Nothing good here. Nothing. Double damage and crit multi. And crit chance. I guess just these Zealotry and Anger modifiers are good enough to be worth something, maybe. Conversion, that's it. Double Malevolence, dot multi and recovery. And physical damage reduction. Actually, a decent amount of Toxic Rain builds are using the Determination, so this one is actually an okay one. Crit multi and attack speed. This one is actually also a really nice one. I am using actually a similar one on my other build, one of my other builds. Another one. Nothing here. And last one. Double damage while using Pride. I guess the conversion, physical damage from hits taken as cold damage, is okay for melee builds that are using Pride, so it could be worth something. I am gonna check it. Okay, so that's it. So now I am gonna price check them and I'm gonna be back with the results. Okay, so I just finished price checking them and I'm gonna just quickly show you the results. I don't want to make it too much longer because the video is already pretty long, so let's start it. First of all, I did post most of the bad jewels for 7 exalts, and I waited a few hours and I got only 3 offers for these 3, actually 4 of them. And this is the one with determination and pride. This is conversion with anger and additional energy shield while affected by clarity from your mana, movement speed while affected by grace, and physical damage while using pride. And the last one, this is the 3 stat one. This is just additional physical damage reduction while affected by determination. Both of the other ones do not matter at all. So all 4 of those could be sold for 7 exalts. Probably a lot of these could be sold for between 1 and 5x, but I'm not gonna bother trying to sell them. Okay, and now let's go over the good 2 stat ones. So these 3 are worth probably between 5 and 10 exalts. It is pretty hard to price check all of them. So this is the Wrath conversion and additional critical strike chance, also well affected by Wrath. This is consecrated ground you create, make enemies take 10% increased damage, and life on hit while affected by vitality, and this is crit multi while affected by precision, and pen while affected by zealotry. So again, all 3 of those are probably between 5 and 10 exalts. This one is just additional recovery while affected by zealotry and ES on hit while affected by discipline. This one is worth around 25 exalts. And these 2 are actually not on trade, so I can't really price check them. So this is double purity of elements, just physical damage taken from it is taken as fire and lightning. And the second one is pen fire damage while affected by anger and -8 mana cost of your skills while affected by clarity. So both of these are not on trade, but I would say they are probably worth around 30 exalts. And if I price them at 30 exalts, all of these jewels combined are probably worth around 130x, which means I pretty much just got my money back from the 102 stat jewels. And now let's go over the 3 stats. So these 3 are probably worth around 5 exalts. So this is the pen lightning and energy shield while affected, energy shield leech while affected by wrath. This is the lightning damage while affected by wrath and double purity of element. The top one doesn't matter too much, the bottom one is I think better. This is double crit, but one is hatred, one is anger, so it's not too expensive, but it's still probably like 5x. Next ones, these are worth around 10 exalts, maybe 15. So this is dot multi while affected by malevolence and physical damage taken as fire while affected by purity, also unaffected by ally weakness, but that one doesn't matter too much. This one is life gain on hit while affected by vitality and physical damage as extra fire while affected by anger. And the last one is armor while affected by determination and life on hit while affected by vitality. So again, these are like 10x. These ones are around 25 exalts, maybe 20. So this is physical damage conversion to lightning while affected by discipline and ES on hit while affected by discipline. This one is dot multi while affected by malevolence and chaos resist while affected by purity of elements. I guess someone could also use it for penetration, not penetration, for conversion to fire while affected by anger, but it doesn't matter too much. Next one is, these ones are worth around 35 exalts. So this is dot multi while affected by malevolence and movement speed while affected by grace. Cannot be blinded, doesn't matter too much, but I guess it's something extra. And this one is crit multi while affected by anger and attack speed while affected by precision. Chaos Resist, while affected by Purity of Element, could also be something helpful, but I don't think it matters too much. And these are the three of probably the best ones that only have 2 good stats. So this one is ES on hit while affected by Discipline, and Life on hit while affected by Vitality. So this is extremely good defensive Watcher Eye for hybrid builds. This is ES on hit while affected by Discipline, and additional energy shield based on your mana while affected by Clarity. So this is again purely defensive one for ES builds. This is for hybrid, this is for ES. And this is added cold damage while affected by Hatred, and cold pen while affected by Hatred, so double Hatred one. So this is just a really nice one for damage. Determination is also, I guess, kinda useful. And these 2 are the ones that I couldn't find prices for them. So this one is just double damage while using Pride, and physical damage taken from hits is taken as cold damage while affected by Purity of Elements. The top one doesn't matter. So this is just decent, both offensively and defensively for melee builds. Or I guess physical. This one is crit multi while affected by Anger, and critical strike chance while affected by Zealotry. So this is for spell fire builds with crit. Again, this is also a decent one. I probably would price this one maybe like 10 exalts. This one more around 20-30, I am not sure. And the last 3, these are the ones that have good free passives and not passive free stats, but there is no prices for them because it's pretty hard to find the perfect copy of Jewels on trade. So this one is attack damage while affected by Precision, life recovery while affected by Vitality, and minus total mana cost while affected by Clarity. So this is the weakest one of all of them. All 3 of those are decent, but they are not like crazy good. So I don't think this one is worth too much, maybe like 10 exalts or something. This one is physical damage reduction affected by determination and double malevolence mods, so dot multi and recovery. So this one is extremely nice for Toxic Rain champion. All 3 of those are extremely good for that build. And the last one is increased cold damage while affected by Hatred, critical strength chance while affected by Zealotry, and added cold damage while affected by Hatred. So again, all 3 of those are really nice, but they are not like crazy good. So I think this one is probably worth between 50 and 100 exalts. I'm not sure. So if I would price all of the ones that have prices, so all of these jewels, prices of them would add up to around 620 exalts, which means again I pretty much just paid back for all of the jewels that I got. But if you would also count the ones that I don't know for how much I would sell them, I would make some extra money. And also I could sell some of these probably for between 1 to maybe 3 exalts. But again, this is these jewels are pretty hard to sell, so I don't expect to be able to sell all of them. And what I'm gonna do in my next video, I am gonna be double corrupting a ton of items. So I am gonna double corrupt the best Watcher Eyes, I'm gonna double corrupt my Mage Blood Squire, a lot of other gear that I have, and precursor emblems from my previous video. And on top of that, I still have almost 700 exalts to spend on some additional items. So that's gonna be an interesting video. So thanks for watching and see you next time.